So here's where the GoPro was positioned for this shoot that I'm going to show you. This is a little time lapse that I've done. Shoot a little bit of the garden here. So folks, I'm back in the studio now doing some commentary, and this is just the yard. I'm going to show you a time lapse, a little rotating time lapse that I did, and using that little egg timer that Rich Cove gave me for Christmas last year, and I haven't had a chance to use it until today. So what I thought I'd do is, just for fun, I went out with my Sony 4K camera. I thought I'd do a little bit of a tour of the yard because it's right pretty in the spring. I mean, it is. I think that, one of the blessings of living on this little hill where we live is, you know, honestly, this spot that the Lord has put me in, there's not really an ugly part of it. And a lot of it's work that Nikki and I put into it. That when we bought this place, it had some really nice landscape features, but we kind of want it to be a little bit wild, a little bit Hobbit-like. We want it to have, you know, lots of pretty little ground cover like what you see there, a little sedum, and we love the red maple trees and stuff. Now you can see that I don't rake my yard after I mow. I mean, I should. Sometimes I do if it's really bad. Love these Japanese maples and all though. And you know, like I say, Nikki's objective is to make our house, she says, look like a hobbit hole that is above ground. So that's kind of what we try to do. So that's our garage area there. A lot of times you'll see my garden videos and you won't see the you know, the exterior of the house, but I did on this. That's the South Mountains there that you see. And this shows our bottom end of our yard facing sort of south, and you see the neighbors are fairly far away. It's kind of nice to live where we are because it's so quiet and peaceful on this little mountain. This is Mineral Springs Mountain, and this is a road called Appian Way. So this is our yard from actually Appian Way, and these are just some little flowers that I thought were real pretty down the hill there from the house. So this is looking back at our back porch. That's where we sit with our rockers, and kind of, it's just beautiful at night to watch. We can see Charlotte from there. We can see the airplanes land down at Douglas Airport, so we can watch it 50 miles away taking place. And that's our other next door neighbor over there. So it is very peaceful. Awesome people that I'm living there next to, which is a blessing. And then just, like I say, it's hardly an ugly place anywhere on the piece of property. That's our house and my studio. And shooting back through some trees and all here. I have planted a bunch of apple trees and peach trees. The apples are leaning because the wind blows from the west pretty strong. I need to stake them up a little bit better, but the peaches are real strong and upright. I'm going to have peaches for the first time this year. That's looking again down toward our neighbor. That's the view that you see on many of my videos down toward Charlotte. If I stepped in the right direction there and zoomed in, you can see the buildings, the skyscrapers of Charlotte down there in the distance. I tried to show a little bit of the wooded area here of the forest. It's a really nice little pleasant forest there too. Now this is you know, down kind of at the bottom part, and that's probably the ugliest part of the house, is where the Nikki loves these little daisies. She planted these 2 years ago, and they just finally have started coming up really nicely. But like I say, this is, if there's an ugly part of the house, it's where the propane tank is. We have gas logs on the inside, and we have a little fireplace looking set up. But I still don't think it's bad looking. This is the side yard. This was all totally grass. There was none of those rocks, none of those grapevines, none of the plants of any sort were there. No hammock, no park benches. It was all just grass to mow when we got this piece of land. And Nikki and I just talked it over and said, we think we'd like to make this little into a side yard where we can grow plants and vegetables and things. And so over the course of almost 5 years now, we've kind of transformed it into this. We have the fire pit and the little benches from Lowe's, and that's the back again, the side of our home. And this is just pulling back and looking at our garden. Now, it's not, you know, we're not slaves to our yard. We kind of let it go a little bit sometimes. We try to, you know, keep it up best we can, but I honestly don't put maybe more than 2 hours a week into keeping this up. I did haul all that gravel with a wheelbarrow up a hill to make all that. This is just the view from the road, and those ball bushes there in front, those holly bushes, need to be trimmed for sure. We've kind of tried to let them grow together just for privacy barrier. And so these are our grapes, and the grapes did really good last year and look like they're coming back super strong. We got to trim them, and we got to tie them up a little bit better. That's some asparagus over to the left and some of Nikki's little flowers.
You probably got what?
In the garden, and those little purple flowers are actually some herb. I don't know what it is. My spinach and stuff there. That's the GoPro again where I set it for this time lapse that's coming up. So the time lapse is coming up here just in a moment. And then once again, it's one more shot of the Japanese maples over here. I thought they were real pretty. So now, folks, get ready to enjoy a little time-lapse, rotating time-lapse. Here we go. And this was one photo every 2 seconds. One photo every 2 seconds. And I love the way that the clouds just kind of materialize out of nowhere. Isn't that interesting how they just kind of poof up out of nothing? It just shows how the moisture, I guess, works there in the air. So this is cool. This is a, I'm actually holding it in my hand here, an Ikea. It says Ikea of Sweden made this. It's the GoPro's mounted on top of a egg timer. So a little timer, rotating timer. And so it goes all the way around here, and we're almost done the circle. So you've seen these views of my yard and the house and all before, but not in a nice little slow rotating time lapse. So many thanks to Rich Cove for sending this to me. I know it's been a bit of a lengthy video and I've rattled on a bit, but if you're a fan of my channel, you've seen this kind of stuff before. And this shows what you can do just by mounting a GoPro Hero4 Black is what I used for this, on top of an egg timer, and then shooting a time lapse. So we get here to the end and it runs out, and you'll see it stop here just in a moment. So there, the rotation I think ends right there. And so, folks, I'll leave you this. Subscribe to my channel if you like. If you have any questions about North Carolina or about anything I do on my channel, feel free to give me a message. Peace to all who watch. Thanks.